Infinities and Box Set, Volume 2, Books 4 through 6, Journey's Edge, Secrets Past, and Planetfall. Written by Eric Warren, narrated by Larry Gorman. Journey's Edge, Infinities and Book 4, by Eric Warren. Narrated by Larry Gorman. 1. At any minute, he was going to throw up. Caspian Rabot sat in one of the uncomfortable chairs, facing the small podium that had been brought in for the solemn occasion. The first two funerals had been bad enough, but this was the one he'd been dreading the most. This was the one that truly represented everything he'd lost in a matter of seconds. Bach sat beside him, unmoving, except for his yellow eyes blinking on and off, as the last few crewmen moved out of the way and the captain approached the podium. The robot had been uncharacteristically quiet the past few days, which was a welcome respite from the usual non-stop stream of words out of his voice speaker. But this wasn't a time for annoying or boisterous behavior, and Bach seemed to get that. And, like a true friend, he'd been right here beside Cass through all three of these core forsaken things. Cass swallowed hard and turned his attention back to the front, willing his body to cooperate. The last thing he needed to do was cause a scene by losing what little he'd eaten all over the loading bay floor. Why did they have to have these things in here? This was where Tempest, his current ship, if you could call it that, housed the extra cargo and supplies not being used. For a ship of its size, Tempest required a lot of supplies to keep her crew working at top efficiency. And as one of the newest and most advanced ships of the Sovereign Coalition of Aligned Systems, it had been packed to the brim. But it gave the room a very utilitarian feel. It wasn't much more than a large box with a few windows to the left where the docking ports were located. All the chairs they brought in were lined up in rows parallel to the windows, while the podium was situated in the very front. And there, sitting in the front of the podium itself, was the casket. "Friends," Captain Cordell Green began as he stood facing the crew, "as far as Cass could tell, most everyone was here, save a couple of dozen officers and crewmen and women left to run the ship as the ceremony took place. The ship was on a schedule, and couldn't even be bothered to stop for everyone to pay proper respects. They had to do it on the fly. After the Coalition had learned of Tempest's ability to travel even faster using Zenfor's advanced technology, they'd wanted the ship to continue with its mission immediately and as quickly as possible."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?